What if Rimuru we are pirates One Piece X Tensura? By KyleBayan. Wealth, fame, power, Gol D. Roger the king of the pirates obtained this and everything else the world had to offer, and his dying words drove countless souls to the sea, marking the beginning of the great pirate era. Join Monkey D. Luffy, a boy who ate the gum fruit, and his twin sister Monkey D. Rimuru, a girl who ate the slime fruit on their adventure across the sea to search for the One Piece. Chapter 22. New crew member and a new friend. After witnessing Kureha's farewell to Chopper, the crew reached the ship while Chopper was still watching the cherry blossoms. Usopp, whispering, "Hey, do you think Chopper is okay? He looks a bit down." Nami, "I'm sure he'll be fine. Let's just leave him alone for now." Sanji, "It's an emotional time. He's going on his first journey as a man. It's a rite of passage." Vivi, "And he's about to leave Drum Island for good. It's been his home his entire life." Just then, Rimuru made a realization. "Rimuru, hold on, where'd Karoo run off to?" Everyone began looking around and spotted Karoo frozen in the river. Luffy reached out and fished Karoo out of the water, and Rimuru began wrapping the poor duck in blankets and scarves. The ship began sailing away to Alabasta, leaving Drum Island behind, and the crew started celebrating their new member. Zoro, "These cherry blossoms make it look like we're having a party." Usopp, "Hey Chopper, you can't stay moping around in a daze. Come on and have fun with us." Everyone started warming up to the reindeer, making him feel welcome. Chopper got overwhelmed and snuck off. Nami, "Those guys are a handful." Chopper got startled by Nami and Rimuru suddenly appearing behind him. Nami, "I hate to tell you, but your new friends are just about crazy." Chopper, "My friends?" While everyone was celebrating, Vivi held her duck in concern. Vivi, "Karoo, what in the world are you doing frozen in the river like that?" Karoo, "Freezing. QQ quack, quack." Zoro, chuckling, "Tenberry says he slipped and fell in the river. What a clumsy duck." Vivi, irritated, "Be quiet, Mr. Bushido." Karoo kept squawking while Chopper was listening closely. Chopper, "He said that a guy named Zoro was swimming in the river when he disappeared. He thought Zoro was in trouble, so he jumped in to save him but got frozen in it." Rimuru and Nami, angry, "So this is your fault." Nami smacked Zoro from behind, followed by Rimuru delivering a roundhouse kick that sent the swordsman overboard. Rimuru, "Luffy, could you fish him out?" Luffy, "Sure." Vivi, "Wait, so you could really understand everything Karoo was saying?" Chopper, nodding, "Aha." Rimuru, "Oh, I get it. Even though Chopper ate the human fruit and became smarter, he's still technically an animal." Chopper, "Yeah, so I can understand what other animals are saying." Vivi, "You can talk to animals?" Nami, "Oh wow, Chopper. Between your ability to talk to animals and your medical skills, you've got some amazing talent." Rimuru suddenly picked up Chopper and rubbed her cheek on him. Rimuru, "Not to mention Fluffy." Chopper wiggled out of Rimuru's grasp and started dancing. Chopper, "Don't be silly, you jerks. Flattering me isn't gonna make me happy or anything." Luffy and Usopp, "He sure looks happy." Zoro, shivering, Hey, what do you mean about Chopper's medical skills?" Nami, "Well, Chopper here is a doctor. Dr. Kureha taught him everything he needed to know about medicine." The guys on the crew were surprised. Zoro, "No way. Chopper, are you seriously a doctor?" Luffy, "Cool." Usopp, "No way." Rimuru, "I understand why Zoro and Usopp were surprised. But if you two didn't know that, then what did you think Chopper was when you wanted him to join us?" Luffy, "A talking, transforming reindeer monster." Sanji, "Emergency food." Rimuru punched Sanji in the face. Rimuru, irritated, "We're not eating him." Chopper was surprised by the two's reason and made a realization. Chopper, "Oh no, I was in such a hurry I left my medical bag behind. It has all my tools in it." Nami, "Your bag? Do you mean this?" Nami brought out Chopper's bag. Chopper, "That is my bag." Nami, "It was at the back of the sleigh." Chopper, How'd it get there? Rimuru, if I had to guess, I'd say that Doctorine put it there. Nami. Really? Rimuru, yup. Pointing at Sanji and Luffy. Back when those two were chasing Chopper, Doctorine told us we could try to take him with us. And earlier when she was chasing Chopper with weapons, I noticed she was missing on purpose. Nami's eyes widened with amazement. Nami, that's amazing. She knew what you were planning to do before you even decided to leave with us. Chopper. Rimuru, she's a typical tsundere. Chopper, what's tsundere? Rimuru, it means she acts harsh when she's actually nice and caring. Chopper, oh, I understand. Rimuru, well, that's enough feeling down. Alright, everyone. It's time to party. Everyone, yeah. Rimuru punched the air, and everyone else did the same. Usopp, I propose we toast to our new friend, Chopper. Everyone, Chopper. Everyone raised their mugs and began celebrating. Meanwhile, back on the island, Kureha and Dalton watched as the Going Merry was sailing out of view. Dalton, you know that a reindeer friend of yours is a first-rate doctor with a first-rate heart. I'm glad to have known him. Kureha, those cherry blossoms Hiralik made really did lead to something miraculous. Chuckling. But who would have thought that the miracle would be that clumsy reindeer going out to sea with a group of pirates? That kid acting like a grown man all of a sudden. Dalton, I have the feeling that he'll make a fine ship's doctor. Kureha, so what are your plans now that Wapol is gone for good? Dalton, for a long time, I worked as a captain of the guards under Wapol's tyrannical rule. So there's something I need to make amends for. I'm thinking about leading this country, trusting the citizens to make the land better in my absence. Kureha stood up. Kureha, I see. Is that why you decided what you'll do? Dalton, no. I realize that leaving here isn't going to make up for my past mistakes. This country is rid of its corrupt monarch, and the citizens are preparing to make a new country all on their own. I think if I stay here, I could help them build it into the country that it's meant to be. Maybe that will help wash away some of the guilt I have carried around for so long. Kureha, well, it seems to me that you possess the heart to take care of this country. Dalton, strength of heart is needed to look after this country. It can be difficult to come by, but I once saw it from a girl who was 10 at the time. That princess had great strength of heart indeed, and that hasn't changed. She remains strong up to this day. She would make anyone proud. The 20 MDs approached Dalton and asked him if they could help, and he agreed. Just as Dalton began wondering what the future of the country would be, two men came running toward him. Man 1, Dalton, you need to hear this. I just remembered something important. I forgot to tell you. Dalton, what is it? Man 1, take a look at this. The man handed Dalton a piece of paper. Dalton was shocked to see that the paper was Luffy's wanted poster. Man 1, it's him. He's one of the two who defeated Wapol. We're sure of it. Dalton, you mean he has a 30 million berry bounty on his head? Are you certain? Kureha, my goodness, they're quite a band of rogues, aren't they? Dalton, where'd you find this? Dalton handed the poster to Kureha. Man 1, well, I completely forgot to report this to you, Dalton. I'm very sorry, but I guess it all happened a week ago. A man who seemed to be a random traveler showed up one day in Rabel Town. Strangely, it was a day without snowfall. Man 2, we have no idea where on the island he landed. Man 1, anyway, he told us that he was hunting down Blackbeard, the pirate who recently attacked us with his men. Man 2, but then, when he learned that Blackbeard had already left, he asked if a man with a straw hat or a woman with blue hair came through the island. Man 1, we didn't know at the time, and he showed us the wanted poster of one of the two he mentioned. He said that if either one of them showed up, we should tell them that he will be waiting at Alabasta in 10 days, and he told us his name was Ace. Man 2. After that, he ran away after not paying for his meal at the restaurant. Dalton, I see. Dalton noticed the puzzled expression Kureha was making. Dalton, excuse me, doctor, but is there something wrong? You look puzzled. Kureha, tell me something, Dalton. Have you heard of a man named Gol D? Roger? Dalton, Gol D? Do you mean Gold Roger? Kureha. Is that what he calls himself now? Well, from the looks of this, the man Chopper chose to follow is no ordinary pirate. The will of D still lives. Dalton. Well, in any case, we don't need to worry about giving them the message. Man 1 and Man 2. Why is that? Dalton. Because their next destination is Alabasta. A few days later, out at sea, Vivi began explaining everything she knew about Baroque works and their goal. Chopper. Wait. There are 2,000 of them. Usopp. 2,000. Luffy. So all we got to do is to kick Crocodile's ass. Usopp. I don't think you get it, Luffy. Zoro. If Baroque works' sole objective is to take over Alabasta, then I can guess what that means. Sanji. The rest of the officer agents, as Vivi called them, and their subordinates should be Nami, on their way to Alabasta as we speak. Vivi, yeah. Luffy. I see, so we just go beat up Crocodile. Sanji. That's enough, Luffy. Rimuru. Vivi noticed that Rimuru had been silent, as if she was thinking of something. Vivi. Is there something wrong? Rimuru? Rimuru. Oh, it's nothing. I was just curious about your plan to save Alabasta. Vivi, oh. Well, we first will have to stop the rebellion to prevent people from getting killed. Then we would have to drive Baroque works out of the kingdom. Rimuru. So, your plan is to do Luffy's thing after we stop the war? Vivi. Well, yes, I guess we would still need to fight Crocodile to make Baroque works leave. Luffy. Huh? Couldn't we beat up Crocodile first? Sanji. Oh, just shut up, Luffy. Rimuru nodded but still had a doubtful expression. The next day, Luffy was in a Seiza position, being judged by Sanji for a crime. Sanji. Don't lie to me, Luffy. Tell me what you know right now. Luffy looked away, forcing Sanji to pinch Luffy's face and make him look Sanji in the eyes. Sanji. Irritated. Don't look away from me. I want you to look me in the eyes right now and tell me the truth. Luffy pulled his face away and made a terrible poker face. Luffy. No idea what you mean, Sanji. I don't know anything. Sanji. Then let me ask you, how did enough food for 9 people, which I carefully divided between us for the next few days, suddenly go missing in the middle of the night? Lying won't do you any good. You have a terrible poker face, so just tell me the truth. Luffy. Burps. Sanji got tired of Luffy's denial and decided to try something else. Sanji. Oh hey, it looks like there's something around your mouth there. Luffy fell for Sanji's lie and licked his mouth in a panic. Luffy. I forgot about the crumbs. Sanji. Angry. I knew it was you. Sanji kicked Luffy in the face and sent him crashing into the wall. Sanji, jerk. Hey Captain Rimuru, can we buy a refrigerator with locks? Rimuru. If we can find one. Sure. I'll restock the fridge. You 3 better catch something while I'm restocking. Usopp. Sure, we'll catch something for Sanji. Chopper. Okay. Karu. Quack. Luffy's accomplices, who were busy fishing with food in their mouths. Usopp, Chopper, and Karu saluted their fellow accomplice Rimuru without turning their heads. Rimuru went into the kitchen to restock when Sanji noticed the trio's unusual behavior and approached them. Sanji. So, how's everything? Usopp, Chopper, and Karu. Flinching. Usopp, well, Karu, quack. Sanji smashed the heads of the 3 suspects together, knowing they were involved. Sanji. Pathetic. I can't take my eyes off anyone. Nami. Thinking. I'm sure Rimuru is somehow involved in their little scheme, but I highly doubt Sanji would be mad at her. A few minutes later, Rimuru left the kitchen after restocking it and went to check on everyone. She then noticed that someone was currently missing. Rimuru. Hey Vivi, did you see where Karu ran off to? Vivi. Now that you mention it, he has been gone for a while. Karu. Quack. Rimuru and Vivi ran to the side of the ship and saw Karu tied to the ends of Usopp and Luffy's fishing lines. Vivi and Rimuru. Karu. Luffy. Do you think we can catch a shark? Usopp. Don't know. I really want to catch a sea king. Vivi and Rimuru. Vivi irritated, Rimuru angry. Don't fish with my duck. Slash, don't use other people's pets as bait. Vivi punched Usopp while Rimuru punched Luffy using Haki. Vivi then noticed a thick cloud of smoke ahead of them. Vivi, what's that? Rimuru, steam? Luffy, cotton candy? Rimuru, Vivi, go get Nami. Vivi, right? Vivi ran inside the ship. Vivi, Nami, there's something wrong. Come quickly. Everyone went outside to see what was happening. Nami, oh, I see it. There's nothing to worry about, it's just steam. Vivi, so you're saying that there's steam coming from the ocean? Nami, a hotspot. Luffy, what's a hotspot? Nami, it's an area in the sea where magma is made. Below the sea is an underwater volcano. Chopper, there are volcanoes underneath the sea? Nami, that's right. There are actually more volcanoes under the sea than there are on dry land. Luffy, pouting, so we can't eat the steam then. Rimuru, if there's a volcano down there, then a new island would eventually pop up. Sanji, wow, you're so smart. Nami, you too, Captain. Luffy, Sanji, can you cook us something? Sanji, fine, just sit still while I cook. Sanji went into the kitchen and began cooking. The Going Merry then sailed through the steam and came out safely on the other side. However, when they left the steam, Usopp and Luffy were baffled to see that a guy wearing weird clothes was suddenly clinging onto Karu. Karu, quack. Stranger. This is getting out of hand. How'd I get stuck on some random duck? The man suddenly fell into the ocean, splashing onto the surface. Stranger. Drowning. You have to help me. Please get me out of here. I can't swim. Later, the two fished the guy out of the water out of pity. Stranger. Gasping. I thought I was going to die there for a minute. Thank you. I never imagined in all my life that I'd be saved by a group of complete strangers. Bowing thanks again. I'll never forget your kindness. Rimuru. So, who are you? And did you just swim here from another ship? The stranger looked at Rimuru, who was standing next to Vivi. Stranger. Oh, hey, aren't you two gorgeous? The man sent a flying kiss to the two, which creeped them out a bit. Vivi and Rimuru, thinking, ugh, so weird. Rimuru, if you're not going to answer me, then we'll just throw you back overboard. Stranger, panicking, wait, no need to be hasty. The man stood up and cleared his throat. Bon, you may call me Bon Clay. You asked if I swam from another ship, and the answer is unfortunately a big no. After all, I ate a devil fruit, so I can't swim. Usopp. Yeah? What kind of fruit? Bon, let's see. Since I can't go anywhere until my ship comes by to pick me up, then I guess there's no harm in a little fun. For the sake of demonstrating my power, I'll show you. Now get ready, 'cause this is my power. Bon Clay suddenly shoved Luffy in the face with his right hand, sending the rubber man to the floor. Rimuru jumped down and drew her sword. Rimuru, why you? Bon. In a different voice, wait, hold on a second. This is all just for a little fun. Remember? Rimuru. Huh. Everyone was stunned that Bon Clay had somehow transformed to look and sound exactly like Luffy. Luffy. Wait, is that my face? Bon. In Luffy's voice, fun. Ga ha 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 ha. And if I touch my face with my left hand, Bon Clay touched his face and changed back to his normal look. Bon. In his normal voice, I'm back to normal. That is the power of the clone fruit. Nami. Amazing. Usopp. The body and the voice matched perfectly. Bon began touching everyone's faces, except Vivi's. Bon. Honestly, I didn't have to hit you too hard like that. Bon began touching his face and alternating between the crew's appearances. Bon, okay, now watch. In Usopp's voice, all I have to do, in Zoro's voice, is touch my right hand to you. In Chopper's voice, as you can see, I can mimic. In Nami's voice, anyone, and that's not all. In Rimuru's voice, I can change bodies too. Bon took off his shirt while in Rimuru's form right in front of the guys, which caused them to ogle. Nami thrashed Usopp, Zoro, and Luffy, while Rimuru, embarrassed and furious, punched Bon with an electrified fist coated in haki. Rimuru, why the hell did you do that? You bastard. I oughta kill you. Bon. Charred? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Rimuru stood in front of the charred man. She stomped her foot, and Bon immediately bowed apologetically. Bon. I'm terribly sorry. I shouldn't demonstrate my power anymore. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper began cheering and urging Bon to keep showing off his powers. Rimuru glared at Bon, causing him to flinch. Rimuru, sighing, as long as you don't pull that trick again, then I'll allow it. Giving a menacing glare. But if you do that again, Bon, rapidly nodding. I get it, I won't try that again. Now, without further ado, I shall also inform you that I'm equipped with a memory feature. Bon began transforming into other people to the amusement of Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper. During Bon's transformation, Vivi was shocked to see one of the faces. Rimuru noticed Vivi's reaction and became confused. Bon, did you all enjoy my secret talent? It's quite impressive, but I almost never show it off. Bon, Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper linked arms together and started singing and dancing about being friends. As Bon began to get along with the three, someone tapped his shoulder. Bon, yes? Ha! Way hot. Bon stumbled backward, shocked as a second Bon with golden eyes suddenly appeared right in front of him. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper were amazed and got stars in their eyes, while the real Bon was freaking out. Usopp, wow, you can make a clone of yourself. I didn't know you could do that. Luffy and Chopper, cool. Bon, but that's not my doing. Second Bon, of course it's not. The second Bon turned to slime and reformed right back into Rimuru. Rimuru, it was me. You're not the only one who can change into other people. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper, awesome. Chopper, that's awesome. Rimuru, yup. Normally I would have to mimic another creature to transform, but I won't need to do that if I just want to look like someone else. The only giveaway is my eyes, which will either be gold or red depending on my form. Bon, well, that was certainly a surprise. I have to admit that was very impressive. Rimuru noticed another ship heading their way. Rimuru, hey Bon, isn't that your ship? Everyone looked at the horizon and saw a ship featuring a swan figurehead. Bon, it's time to say goodbye already? What a shame. Usopp, Luffy, and Chopper awe. Bon leaped up onto the railings. Usopp, no, you can't leave. Chopper, yeah, please don't go. Sad that Bon had to leave, the trio looked up at him with tears in their eyes. Bon, try not to be sad. Journeys must always include farewells, and yet, I will never forget you all today. Bon then looked back at the crew with tears in his own eyes as he gave them a thumbs up. Bon, true friendship isn't determined by time. He then leaped across to his ship. Bon, don't cry, friends. Luffy, see ya, cool guy. Bon's ship began speeding up. Bon, now quickly men, let's get going. Crew, saluting, yes sir, Mr. 2, Bon Clay, sire. As Bon got a fair distance away, the entire Straw Hat crew was shocked to learn that he was actually a part of Baroque Works. Chapter 23, Alabasta, the Kingdom of Sand. After bidding farewell to their new friend, the entire Straw Hat crew was shocked to learn that their new friend Bon Clay is actually a part of Baroque Works. Usopp, Mr. 2. Vivi, that guy is Mr. 2? Luffy, Vivi, you mean you didn't know just by looking? Vivi shook her head in denial. Vivi, I've never met Mr. 2 or Mr. 1 and his partner, so I don't know much about any of them or what their powers are. Vivi slumped to the floor, shocked at what had just occurred. Vivi, but I have heard rumors that Mr. 2 is a very tall ballerina that talks like a woman, and he always wears a swan coat that says Okama Way at the back. Zoro, Usopp, and Luffy looked at Vivi with dumbfounded expressions. Luffy, Usopp, and Zoro, you didn't know? Rimuru made a deadpan expression. Rimuru, You just saw a guy that matches that exact description, yet you didn't register that he's Baroque Works. Rimuru then noticed that Vivi's shocked expression during Bond's entertainment hadn't vanished. Rimuru, you've had that same look on your face during Bond's demonstration. Vivi, what's wrong? Vivi, among the faces that he showed, one of those faces belonged to my father, Cobra Nefertari, the king of Alabasta. Rimuru, well, that's a serious problem. If he can transform into the king, then he has the potential to spread distrust and confusion. Hell, he could even tell your army that we're the enemy and have them attack us. Usopp, it looks like we let a major bad guy get away. Chopper, bad guy? Nami, it seems so. Having him on the other side is not a good thing. If Mr. 2 realizes that we're the ones Baroque Works is after, then he could use the memories he got earlier to transform into any one of us. We won't be able to trust our own friends. Rimuru, not everyone. Sanji was still in the kitchen, so those two never met. Nami, even so, Mr. 2 could still transform into any one of us, so Sanji would still be susceptible to being tricked. Zoro, it's probably a good thing we met him. Everyone, huh? Zoro, hear me out. Because we met him before he became our enemy, we can prepare and beat him at his own game. Rimuru, thinking, Luffy, ooh, are you thinking of something fun? Rimuru? Rimuru, yeah, I'm thinking of how to deal with Mr. 2. Zoro, I actually have an idea. Rimuru, you do? Well, we should probably wait for Sanji and explain to him what just happened. Later, after Sanji made lunch for everyone, Rimuru explained to him what had just happened. Zoro then began explaining his plan to everyone. Nami, that's actually a good idea. Vivi, I agree. I'm impressed you came up with it, Mr. Bushido. Rimuru, even though it's a good idea, we only get one chance at this. So once Mr. 2 attempts to trick one of us, it's up to them to defeat him. Everyone nodded in agreement. Suddenly, the sea got violent and the ship began shaking. A giant cat emerged from the water right behind the ship. Luffy, that thing is huge. Vivi, a sea cat. Rimuru, so, a catfish? Usopp, horrified. Wahhh. Chopper, startled. It's a monster. Zoro drew all three of his swords. Zoro, it looks like food to me. Luffy, let's catch it. Sanji, how do you guys think I should cook this cat? The sea cat got unnerved by Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji and started to back off. Zoro, it's getting away. Luffy, reverse, reverse. Put the boat in reverse. Usopp, no, we can't do that. Vivi grabbed a broom and smacked the trio into the railings. Vivi, no. The sea cat dove underwater and swam away. Luffy, Vivi, what are you doing? I'm hungry. Sanji, you just ate, you moron. We could have Rimuru store it for later. Vivi, you can't eat it. Sea cats are sacred animals in Alabasta. Chopper, there are more animals in the ocean than I thought. Usopp quickly got up and placed his foot on a cannon, acting tough. Usopp, if you're still scared of that stuff, then you have a long way to go. So let me tell you about the time that I, Usopp, single-handedly fought off the Sea Kings of the Calm Belt, young Chopper. Chopper believed Usopp's lie and started listening with stars in his eyes. Chopper, Sea Kings, really? Usopp, and big ones too. While Usopp began telling a tall tale to Chopper, Luffy was biting the railings, upset that he couldn't eat the sea cat. Rimuru, if we spotted a sea cat, then I guess that means we're getting close. Vivi, that's right. So don't worry, Luffy, we'll be there really soon. Zoro, those things over there are all the proof I need. Everyone looked to the front and saw a fleet of Baroque Works ships. Vivi, it looks like all of the Baroque Works agents have started gathering. I'm guessing they're the billions. They work under the officer agents. Nami, that means at least 200 enemies are waiting for us. Vivi, they are the best that Baroque Works has to offer, the elite of the underlings. They are certainly much stronger than the ones at Whiskey Peak. Usopp readied the cannon. Usopp, terrified, come on, Let's blow them all away. Luffy, it will be faster if we go there and beat them up ourselves. Rimuru, let's not waste our time with them. Sanji, Rimuru is right. We must keep our eyes on the prize until this is all over. After all, 9 against 200 sucks. After the crew agreed to leave the billions alone, they marked their arms with an X and covered them with cloth. Luffy, why are we doing this again? Rimuru, since Mr. 2 can transform into any of us, he could pretend to be one of us to make an attempt on Vivi's life. Do you understand? So if anyone feels like one of us is acting suspicious, Rimuru unraveled her cloth and showed the crew the X. Rimuru, have them take off the bandage as proof. If they don't have this mark, then they're an imposter. So make sure that the bandages are tied tightly. It would suck if we got fooled by the enemy. Sanji, so this clone fruit guy, is he really that identical when he turns into someone else? Usopp, you have no idea. Not just identical. It was really crazy. You should have seen it, Sanji. He changed into every one of us, even Rimuru. Then he str. Usopp felt a strong grip on his shoulder along with a horrible feeling. He nervously turned around, saw Rimuru, and immediately began sweating bullets and trembling uncontrollably. Rimuru, menacingly, would you like to continue that sentence? Usopp? Usopp, trembling, as I was saying, he started dancing with us. Yeah, and he is surprisingly a fun guy. Rimuru let go of Usopp's shoulder and walked away. Usopp let out a heavy sigh of relief. Usopp, thinking, I thought I was gonna die. Sanji, smoking, I'm not really interested in dancing with a male ballerina. Zoro, we know that someone with his powers is an enemy, so we really need to be careful and not let our guard down at all. Chopper, so what should I do against this guy? Usopp, just do whatever it is you can do. You're not expected to do anything more, Chopper. And if you get overwhelmed, then just run. Sanji, that sounds like the pep talk he's always giving himself. Karu, quack. Chopper, I got it. Rimuru approached Vivi, who was watching the scenery. Rimuru, Vivi, I gotta ask, what's your plan for dealing with the rebel army? Vivi, well, I plan to confront the rebel army leader to convince him to stop. Then, with his help along with the kingdom's army, we will expose Crocodile for his crimes. Rimuru, I see, but you're the princess of the nation they're trying to overthrow. What makes you think he'll listen? Vivi, well, we have been friends since our childhood, so I'm sure he'd listen to me. Rimuru, I see, but there's a big issue that I'm seeing. Vivi, which is? Rimuru, Baroque works. Vivi, huh? I don't understand. Rimuru, sighing, you should come up with a plan B, just in case this plan fails. Vivi, okay, I'll consider it. Luffy, hey guys, I can see the island now. Everyone went to the front and looked at Alabasta in awe. Vivi, let's stop at a town called Nanohana. We have to hide the ship. Rimuru, alright, guys, let's gather around for a moment. Everyone gathered together in a circle. Luffy, okay, no matter what happens on that island, this thing on our arms is a sign of our friendship. Everyone brought their left hands together, showing off the bandages. Luffy, now let's land, then eat. Oh, and help Vivi. Everyone. That's a side note. They docked at the shore, just far enough from town where the ship wouldn't be spotted. Usopp, so this is an Alabasta city. Luffy, is there food? Rimuru, alright, everyone listen up. Let's make sure to be on our best behavior so we won't alert the authorities, since it could lead to Crocodile knowing we're here. That means you, Luffy? Hay. Rimuru ran after Luffy, who had already sprinted ahead. Rimuru, Nami, you're in charge while I'm gone. Get everything we need so we can leave. Angry, get back here, you idiot. The crew watched as their two captains ran into the city. Usopp, I feel really bad for Rimuru, having to deal with Luffy. Vivi, so what now? Sanji, knowing Luffy, he'd be easy to find, especially for Rimuru. Usopp, I guess that's true. Zoro, we should forget about Luffy. He can take care of himself. Besides, Rimuru is going after him, so we'll eventually see them. We should get some food. The crew began leaving the ship, and just as Usopp and Nami were about to get off, they noticed Vivi and Karu weren't coming. Nami, what's wrong, Vivi? Vivi, Karu and I can't go with you. We'd both be too recognizable here. Zoro, makes sense. Sanji, no worries. I'll take care of all your shopping. Vivi, my love. Karu, quack. Vivi, what's wrong, Karu? Karu, quack 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 quack. Karu pointed at a nearby ship, which surprised everyone. Vivi, MR3's ship? Usopp, I thought we took care of that creep for good already? Vivi, I'm certain it's him. That ship couldn't even move without Mr. Three's wax fruit powers. Zoro, that's no good. He has already seen most of our faces. Usopp has a plan. It's gonna be alright. Usopp went and got a massive sheet of cloth, and everyone minus Sanji and Chopper began moving around under the cloth, which immediately attracted the attention of the crowd. Usopp, there's no telling where he is, so we have to move without standing out. Nami, this is your idea for blending in? Eventually, they reached an area in town with very few people. Usopp, it looks like it's safe to come out now, guys. Zoro, thanks, but we figured that one out already. Usopp, it looks like my ingenious disguise worked like a charm. Nami, sarcastic. Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what it was. Sanji, it looks like you should be safe from prying eyes for a while, my dear. Vivi. Sanji, what's up, Vivi? Vivi, startled. Oh yes. What is it, Sanji? Sanji, you look a little down. What's bugging you? Vivi, it's nothing. I'm just a bit relieved now, nothing else. From what I've seen so far, I know that this town is doing alright. I can't exactly start taking it easy, but it's a good sign. Zoro, you said you have a plan for stopping the rebel army, didn't you? Vivi, yes, I do. Vivi began explaining her plan to the crew, which led to Sanji and Chopper heading off to purchase everything the crew needed for their journey. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the city, after Rimuru ran off to catch her brother, Luffy managed to completely escape her sight. Rimuru, irritated, damn it, where the heck did Luffy run off to? After a while of searching for Luffy, she began wandering through town. Rimuru, sighing, well, no use worrying about Luffy now. He'll probably just cause a commotion. Rimuru turned her eyes and hair black and went on a shopping spree. Rimuru, I should probably buy clothes for the journey. Knowing Sanji, he'd probably buy something skimpy for me and the other girls. After checking out the clothing stores, Rimuru bought a green shirt and black pants, along with a grayish-tan cloak. Rimuru, now that that's done, where should I go to find Luffy? Stranger, is there still no sign of them? Rimuru flinched at the sound of a familiar voice behind her. She slowly looked over her shoulder and saw Smoker, Tashigi, and a horde of marine soldiers. Soldier 1. Sorry, Captain Smoker, we kept looking, but there's still no sign of the Straw Hat Pirates. Rimuru, thinking, why the heck are Smoker and the Marines here? It looks like they haven't noticed me yet. Smoker, are there any reports from the other port towns? Soldier 2, nothing from the other towns so far. Smoker, well, keep an eye out. I know they'll show up. Just as Rimuru was about to leave, people gathered and caused a commotion in front of a restaurant. Smoker went to check out what was going on. Rimuru, thinking, what's going on over there? Curious about what was happening, Rimuru followed Smoker while keeping her distance. Smoker, what happened? Citizen, startled. Oh, a customer apparently died right in the middle of the restaurant. Smoker, he just died? Citizen, yeah, he just up and keeled over while in the middle of a conversation with the owner. Rimuru, thinking, someone just died in a restaurant? Suddenly, everyone screamed in a panic. Rimuru, thinking, what now? Everyone, angry? You were asleep. Rimuru, eh? Smoker, huh? Everyone, irritated, damn it. Cut it out. After a false alarm, the crowd dispersed while murmuring about what happened. Once the crowd was gone, Smoker went inside while Rimuru stood outside, completely confused by the situation. Rimuru. Okay, that was weird. Luffy, give me food. Suddenly, a pair of very long arms appeared out of nowhere and grabbed the doorframe. Rimuru looked at the source of the arms and saw Luffy rocketing straight into the restaurant. Rimuru, Luffy? Luffy, gum rocket. Luffy crashed directly into Smoker, and another guy then started eating. Rimuru sighed at Luffy's shenanigans and walked into the restaurant. Rimuru, there you are. Luffy turned around with food stuffed in his mouth. Luffy, eating him? Luffy tilted his head in confusion. Rimuru remembered her eyes and hair were still black, so she took off her hood and changed them back. Luffy, eating? Oh, you're here, Rimuru? Rimuru glanced at the numerous holes in the wall and figured out exactly what had happened. She punched Luffy with haki, then placed a large bag of money on the counter and bowed to the restaurant's owner. Rimuru, I'm really sorry for the damage my brother caused. Owner, oh, don't mention it, Missy, but you both should start running. Rimuru, because of Marine Captain Smoker? Owner, well, yes, him, and also because of the other guy your brother knocked through the wall. Rimuru, who was it? Owner, well, it's... Before the owner could continue, the crowd ran away in a panic. Rimuru, eh? Suddenly, a voice called out to them but got interrupted by Smoker, who smashed the guy into the ground. Smoker, Straw Hat, Rimuru. Rimuru and Luffy, who went right back to eating after Rimuru punched him, looked at Smoker as he walked through the hole in the wall. Rimuru, yo, long time no see, Smokey. Luffy, eating Smokey? Smoker, I've been looking for you too. I thought you two would be here and it seems like I was correct. Luffy kept eating, confused at what was going on. Smoker, irritated, would you quit eating? Luffy took a few moments to think while eating, and suddenly remembered Smoker. He spat out some of the food in his mouth in shock. Luffy, eating? You're that smoky guy. What the heck are you doing in Alabasta? Rimuru grabbed Luffy by the collar and ran, while he scooped up the rest of the food into his mouth. Rimuru, see you later. Smokey. Luffy, thanks for the food. Pops. Smoker quickly ran after them. Smoker, stop. You too. Suddenly, the guy that Smoker had interrupted ran out after them. Stranger. Rimuru. Luffy. Hold on. It's me. Following Rimuru and Luffy, Rimuru dropped Luffy onto his feet, and they started running with Smoker hot on their heels. Smoker. Tashigi. Stop them. Tashigi, who was nearby with some marine soldiers, ran toward the duo. Tashigi. I got them. Rimuru. Hey, Tashigi. Rimuru and Luffy easily dodged Tashigi's strike and started leaping across the rooftops. Rimuru. Bye, Tashigi. Smoker turned into smoke and flew right after them. Smoker. Tashigi. Gather the Marines at once. Search every inch of this place for the rest of their crew. Tashigi. Yes. Sir. Everyone, let's go. Soldiers. Yes, ma'am. Tashigi, along with the rest of the Marines, began running through the town. Smoker. White snake. Smoker turned his arm into a snake-shaped smoke tendril and launched it toward the twins in an attempt to ensnare them. The two sped up and outran the smoke completely. Smoker. Why did you two come to this island, Rimuru? Tell me. Rimuru. We came here as a favor to a friend. Luffy. She asked us to beat up some guy named Crocodile. Smoker. Thinking Crocodile? How are you two connected to Crocodile? Smoker extended his smoke arm to catch them. Rimuru grabbed Luffy by the shirt, and they both suddenly vanished. Smoker. What? Where'd they go? Smoker looked around and saw the two running away down the street below. Smoker. Get back here. Smoker flew after them to continue the chase. Meanwhile, in the crew's hiding spot, Zoro, Usopp, Nami, and Chopper, who had gone out to find Luffy and Rimuru, came back empty-handed. Usopp, we are in serious trouble right now. Sanji, trouble? Why is that? Nami, because the Marines are here. Vivi, the Marines? Chopper, when we were searching, we stumbled upon a mysterious man who was looking for them too. Nami, Rimuru can transform like Mr. 2, so she's fine, but we need to look for Luffy as fast as possible. Chopper can go look for Rimuru, since the Marines don't know who he is yet. Zoro, hey, hide. Zoro suddenly shoved the others aside and dove down with them. Nami, Zoro, what are you doing? Zoro, shoo. Zoro shushed Nami, and loud shouting could be heard nearby. Chopper, what was that? Zoro and Usopp peeked around the corner to see what was going on. Zoro, it's the Marines. Usopp, it seems they're excited about something. Sanji, I'm sure it's nothing. They're probably just chasing some idiot pirate running crazy around town. After Sanji mentioned the possibility of a dumb pirate being chased, the crew immediately realized what was happening. Everyone, it's Luffy. Zoro, it looks like Rimuru is with him. While the twins were running away, Luffy noticed Zoro peeking out from behind a wall. Luffy, oh hey Zoro, what's up? Soldier, there's the rest of their crew. The crew hastily grabbed their supplies and started running. Smoker, you can fall back, men. Luffy, not good. Rimuru stopped running, drew her sword, and coated it in armament hockey. Rimuru, you guys go on ahead. Smoker, white blow. Stranger, heat haze. Smoker launched his fist toward Rimuru, but it was suddenly intercepted by a massive stream of fire. Rimuru, what the? Luffy, huh? Luffy stopped running and was surprised by what had happened. Everyone looked in shock as the fire that suddenly appeared in front of Rimuru reformed, transforming into a man. Smoker, you again. Stranger, just give it up. You may have the power of smoke, but I have the power of fire. A fight between the two of us will be pointless and will probably go on forever. Rimuru, Ace. Ace turned around and looked at Rimuru and Luffy. Ace, you haven't changed a bit, Luffy. You too, Rimuru. Luffy, did you eat a devil fruit? Ace, yeah, the flame fruit. But anyway, now's not the time for chatting. You guys get out of here. I'll handle Smoker and catch up. Rimuru sheathed her sword and walked away. Rimuru, you know I can take them on by myself, right? Ace, I'm sure you can. Now get going. Luffy, right? Rimuru, let's go. Rimuru, right? The Straw Hat crew began running away, leaving behind the man that Luffy and Rimuru apparently knew in a tense standoff against the Marines. Smoker, there's one thing I don't get. Why are you helping those two? Heh, can't a guy help out his younger siblings? Even you should know that, Smoker. Smoker, surprised? You're their elder brother? Interesting. How touching. Now move it. Smoker began to emit thick plumes of smoke while Ace burst into brilliant flames. Ace, I'm afraid I can't. You understand. Smoker, white spark. Ace, mirror fire flame. Smoker rushed toward Ace in a veil of smoke, while Ace countered with a roaring wave of flames. Chapter 24, Through the Desert. After the appearance of Ace, the crew made their way back to the Going Merry. Nami, Luffy, Rimuru, who was that guy? Vivi, do you two know him from somewhere? Luffy, yeah, Rimuru, he's our big brother. Everyone, brother. As they were running, a massive explosion of fire and smoke caught their attention. Chopper, what's going on back there? Usopp, it looks like a fight between smoke and fire. Sanji, so that's the power of the flame fruit. Huh? Nami, speaking of devil fruits, Luffy, is it true? Is that guy really your brother? Luffy, yup, his name is Ace. Zoro, well, I'm not surprised that you two have an older brother, but what's he doing here in the Grand Line? Luffy, Ace is a pirate too, just like us. Rimuru, he left 3 years before we did, and we're competing to see which of us will get the One Piece first. Rimuru noticed that the flames and smoke were dying down, so she quickly stored their supplies safely in her stomach. Rimuru, it looks like the fight is ending soon. We should get going. Sanji, sure thing, dear Rimuru. Meanwhile, after the intense battle between Ace and Smoker, many of the marine soldiers were down. As the flames died down, Smoker realized that Ace had already left and looked around the area. Smoker, a fight between flame and smoke is ultimately pointless. Where are Straw Hat, Tempest, and the rest of their crew? Tashigi, we don't know, sir. We've completely lost sight of them. Smoker stared off into the sky, pondering something. Tashigi, is there something wrong, Captain? Smoker, just before Fire Fist Ace showed up, I saw Vivi with the Straw Hats. Tashigi, Dockshed Vivi? As in Princess Vivi Nefertari? What would she be doing with the Straw Hat pirates? Was she their hostage? Did they abduct her so her father could pay a ransom? Smoker, doubt it. She wasn't acting like a kidnapped victim, more like part of the crew. Rimuru's words suddenly echoed in Smoker's mind, followed by the tapped call between Sanji and Crocodile. Smoker, something strange is happening here. I just wish I knew what it was. A soldier suddenly approached Smoker and Tashigi. Soldier, Captain Smoker. I'm sorry, sir. It appears that Mr. 11 was killed while we were chasing the Tempest and Straw Hat. Smoker, call off the search for Straw Hat and the Tempest. I've got a pretty good idea where they're headed. They're after Crocodile, I'm sure of it. Tashigi, why Crocodile? He's one of the 7 warlords of the sea, a pirate given government approval. Smoker, I find all of the 7 warlords despicable, and Crocodile is the absolute worst. Tashigi, politically speaking, isn't he an ally of the world government and the Marines? Smoker, Crocodile has always been a clever pirate, and he has never been the type to obey the government. Remember this, Tashigi. A pirate is a pirate no matter where they go. They never change. Smoker lit another cigar and started smoking. Smoker, Crocodile will lead us right to them. Those 2 will show up wherever he is, and I'm sure we'll find out what's really going on. Gather all the Marines and prepare to head for Rain Base. Soldier, why yes, sir. Smoker, Tashigi. Tashigi, why yes, Captain Smoker? Smoker, contact Vice Admiral Sakaguchi. Tell her that we'll be at Rain Base real soon. Tashigi, yes, sir. Meanwhile, back with the crew at the Mary, Vivi gave Karu a letter. Vivi, Karu, I need you to go to the castle and deliver this letter to my father. Karu, quack? Vivi, it contains information that Igaram and I had uncovered. The details of Crocodile's plans are in here. Also, it lets him know that I've returned to Alabasta safely and that I'm traveling with brave friends to help us. Can you do this for me, Karu? Karu saluted. Karu, quack. Vivi, be careful to conserve your water, okay? Karu, quack. Karu then ran off, but immediately stopped to drink some water. Vivi, irritated. I said conserve, not consume. Karu stopped drinking and quickly ran much faster. Once Karu had left, the crew immediately raised anchor and set sail. Sanji, Rimuru, I have a question. Rimuru, ask away. Sanji, I thought devil fruits were supposed to be rare, so how did all 3 of you eat a devil fruit? Rimuru, I don't really know how to answer that, Sanji. Luffy, yeah, when Ace left, he didn't have any devil fruit powers at all. Rimuru, it's not like he needed them to begin with. Back when we were kids, Luffy couldn't beat Ace. Luffy, yeah, but I bet now I can kick his butt. Ha 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 ha. Zoro, I'd like to see you back that claim up. Ace suddenly jumped up onto the railings of the ship. So whose butt is getting kicked? Luffy, hey Ace, come and meet our crew. Ace politely bowed from a crouching position. Ace, nice to meet you all, and thanks for helping my kid sister take care of our bumbling brother. I'm sure he's a handful. The crew politely bowed in response. Crew, oh no, not at all. Come on, be honest. This is Luffy we're talking about. Isn't he a bit much at times? Crew, No, not at all. Rimuru, what's with the synchronized speaking? Sanji, why don't you take a seat and relax? I'm sure you three have some catching up to do. I'll make some tea. No, that's thoughtful, but I don't want to impose. Sanji took out a cigar to smoke. Here, let me help with that. Ace ignited Sanji's cigar with his finger, then started chatting with his siblings. Sanji, I know he's also Rimuru's brother, but he is not at all what I was expecting. Zoro, that's for sure. Usopp, I kinda expected him to be reckless like Luffy. Chopper, I wish I had siblings that cared about me like that. Nami, no sensible person can possibly be Luffy's sibling. Rimuru, Nami, are you calling me insane? Nami, and no, not at all. Vivi, now, please don't be upset, Rimuru. Luffy, aren't they interesting? Just as they were sailing off, a fleet of Baroque Works ships suddenly appeared on the horizon. Vivi, Baroque Works? Those are the Billions ships. It's Rimuru, Luffy. Would you mind if I handle them? Rimuru, sure, it's fine by me. Luffy, it's cool. Ace jumped down and landed on a small strike boat, which immediately sped ahead. He moved his ship forward and turned his entire arm into roaring flames. Ace! Fire fist! Ace launched a massive fist made of pure flames that smashed cleanly through all of the enemy ships. Everyone on the Going Merry watched the feat in complete awe. Ace then returned to the ship, where he started hanging out with the crew. Rimuru. So anyway, what are you doing here? Ace? Ace. I take it neither of you received the message I left for you both back on Drum Island? Luffy crossed his arms and tilted his head. Luffy, message? Ace, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It's just to let you two know that I'll be in Alabasta for a couple of days. I'm in these waters on some business. Rimuru, does it have to do with that mark on your back? Rimuru pointed at Ace's back. Ace grinning. Yeah. As you could guess, I'm with the Whitebeard Pirates now. Everyone except Rimuru and Luffy was shocked. Luffy, the Whitebeard Pirates? Usopp, so that mark on your back is real? Yup, it's my pride and joy. Rimuru, monotone. So much for being no one's subordinate. Ace, irritated. Hey, now don't get snarky with me just because I've never beaten you before. Rimuru, smirking. Oh? Do you think because you've eaten a devil fruit it means you can beat me now? Ace, I've been on the Grand Line for much longer than you. I know I'm stronger now. Hell, I'm sure I can beat you. Rimuru, as much as I'd like to see you try, we might need to get away from this place first. We have some business of our own here. Mind if I tag along? I'm searching for a man who has recently been calling himself Blackbeard. Usopp, Blackbeard? Vivi, I remember him. He was the one who attacked Drum Island. Ace, you see, Blackbeard used to be a member of the 2nd Division of the Whitebeard Pirates. He was one of my own men, but he committed the most heinous sin a pirate could. He killed his fellow crew member and left. As commander of the 2nd Division, it's my responsibility to take care of him. Rimuru, so that's why you're after him. Ace, I came here because I heard that Blackbeard was seen in Alabasta, in a place called Yuba. That's where I'm headed. Nami, isn't that our destination too, right Vivi? Vivi brought out a map. Vivi, yes. Right now we've just entered the Sandora River. We'll sail to Irumelu, then continue on foot to Yuba. The leader of the rebel army is there, and that's where we need to go. Ace, you don't say. Mind if I tag along? Rimuru, it's cool with me. Luffy, I'm fine with it. Sanji, Nami, Vivi, Rimuru, I'll follow you anywhere. Just tell me where to go. Zoro, hopefully off a cliff. Sanji, angry. What did you just say, Zoro? Nami, irritated. Cool it, you two. Sighing. Well, since both our captains agreed, you'll be with us for a while, Ace. Usopp, we're all really happy to have you aboard. Everyone began celebrating Ace joining as a traveling companion as they continued to head toward their next destination. Later, while the crew along with Ace were sailing down the Sandora River, Ace made a proposition to his siblings. Ace, hey, after you guys are done here, Why don't you join us? It'll be fun. Rimuru pass. Luffy, yeah, no thanks. Ace. Ha 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 ha. Well, it can't hurt to ask. It's too bad, because Whitebeard is the greatest pirate I've ever met. That's why I'm gonna help him become king of the pirates. And not either of you. Sorry about that. Luffy, that's fine. I guess we'll just have to fight you then. Eventually, the crew reached a rocky shore. Luffy. Finally, we're here. Rimuru, Nami, Vivi, you two better cover up. Luffy, go and change. Vivi and Nami, sure. Luffy, K. Sanji was surprised by what he heard. Sanji. Why did you tell Nami and Vivi to cover up? Rimuru, I even bought you a matching set. Rimuru, 1. That thing is really skimpy and too embarrassing to wear, which is why I bought my own. Secondly, any exposed skin out here will be severely burned. Sanji, sulking, but those outfits. Afterward, once the crew stepped onto the shore, a group of turtle-shelled dugongs came out of the sea and blocked their path. Usopp, Gaia, turtles? Or are those seals? Vivi, Kung Fu dugongs. One of the dugongs stepped forward with a highly confident demeanor. Dugong, Kwa, Ku Kwa Ku Ku. As it finished its calls, the crew couldn't understand a single thing it said. Rimuru, hey Chopper, do you know what that one is saying? Chopper, he said, if you want to dock your ship on our shore, then you have to defeat me first. But I doubt that would happen, you cowards. Usopp stepped forward, feeling confident. Usopp, nobody calls me a coward and gets away with it. Rimuru, but that's true, isn't it? Usopp's face faulted, then accidentally fell right into the sea after Rimuru pointed that out. He scrambled back up and swam to shore. Usopp, oh yeah? Well, a mere dugong can't defeat the mighty Captain Usopp. Vivi, Usopp, wait. Usopp charged into battle and immediately got his butt kicked. Dugong, Kwaku. Vivi, there's a good reason why they're called Kung Fu dugongs. Luffy, my turn. Luffy rushed in and immediately defeated one. Luffy, I win. Vivi, no Luffy. The dugong that Luffy defeated got back up. It looked at Luffy with literal stars in its eyes and bowed deeply. The other dugongs lined up and did the exact same thing. Vivi, it's one of their rules. If they lose a match, they become the winner's pupil. Luffy, right, follow me. Now punch. Luffy got into a battle stance and punched the air. The dugongs immediately got in line and perfectly imitated Luffy. The crew watched as Luffy trained the animals. By the way, you mentioned earlier that you guys have some business here. Rimuru, Vivi needs our help because of Crocodile's scheme to usurp the throne. Ace, that's odd. I knew that Crocodile was here, but trying to steal a kingdom? That doesn't make any sense for him. Rimuru, yeah, a pirate dropping anchor just to settle down doesn't make sense. Ace, so you think he's after something else? Rimuru shrugged her shoulders and sighed. Rimuru, probably. I don't really know what, though. After a while of training, Luffy grabbed his bag and the dugongs got right in line behind him. Luffy, right, let's go to Yuba. Rimuru, Luffy, we can't bring them with us. Luffy, why? Vivi, they're sea creatures. Nami, that's right, they can't survive out in the deep desert. The dugongs held onto Luffy in absolute desperation, completely melting the hearts of the three women. Girls, thinking, they're so cute. The three girls huddled together to discuss their hesitation to leave the dugongs behind. Eventually, they gave the dugongs a large supply of food, and Rimuru taught them the absolute basics of armament hockey to keep them distracted. After walking a short distance from the shore, the crew reached some massive ruins. Luffy, are we in Yuba already? Vivi, no, this is Irumelu. It was once known far and wide as the Green City. Luffy, it doesn't look green to me. Vivi began explaining the kingdom's tragic past as the crew walked through the ruined town. Luffy, shocked. Then that means it's your dad's fault. He's the bad guy. Sanji immediately started kicking Luffy in the head. Sanji, angry, no, you idiot. Her dad was completely framed. Rimuru. So that's how Crocodile started all of this. Vivi, yes. Crocodile somehow planted a massive amount of dance powder in the castle. It was probably Mr. Two's work. Zoro, that makes perfect sense. The crew left the ruins of Rimuru and continued on their way through the intense, blazing heat of the desert sun. Luffy, I'm burning up. I don't think I can even sweat anymore. Nami, would you please spare us the melodramatics? Luffy, you'll only wear yourself out. Despite the intense heat, Chopper was doing completely fine thanks to Rimuru cooling him down by resting right on top of his head in her slime form. Rimuru, how are you holding up? Chopper. Chopper. I'm used to cold weather, so I'm incredibly grateful that you're cooling me off. Usopp. Angry. No fair. Why does Chopper get special treatment? Usopp suddenly snatched Rimuru off Chopper's head and started snuggling her close. Rimuru. Usopp? Usopp. Nice and cold. Chopper. Hey? Sanji saw what Usopp did and was instantly fuming with pure rage and jealousy. Sanji. Bastard. Why are you holding Rimuru in an embrace? Chopper, Sanji, and Usopp immediately started fighting over who got to hold Rimuru. Luffy. So hot. Need water. Nami. Just one drink. Luffy. Just one mouthful. Luffy started filling his mouth with water until his cheeks completely inflated. Nami and Usopp, who had managed to snatch Rimuru away again, both punched Luffy, causing him to spit out the water. Nami. Angry. You idiot. Don't drink so much. Usopp. Angry. You better save some for Usopp. Sanji. Angry. Hold on. You already have some. I want a turn. Chopper. Angry. Usopp. Give me Rimuru back. Sanji. Angry. Hand her over. The four guys started wrestling and fighting in the sand. Ace looked over at the chaos and chuckled softly. Rimuru finally had enough, snapped, and transformed directly into her human form. She swiftly punched Sanji, Usopp, and Luffy right in the head. Rimuru. Annoyed. Would you guys cut it out? Later that night, the desert temperature plummeted. Usopp and Luffy latched onto Chopper to keep warm. Chopper. Annoyed. Get off me. Usopp. Hey, it's your fault for being so fluffy and warm. Chopper tried his best to shove Luffy and Usopp away. Rimuru. Looks like those three are having fun. Sanji. Rimuru. Nami. Vivi. If you ladies are cold, please jump right into my arms for warmth. Nami. I'm good. Rimuru. Same. Vivi. I appreciate it, but I'm fine. Sanji sat and sulked in the far corner. The next day, the crew continued their trek, and Luffy was stuck carrying absolutely everyone's luggage. Luffy. Why am I doing all the work? Sanji. You challenged all of us to a game of rock, paper, scissors, and lost miserably. Rimuru. You reap what you sow. Nami. Just make sure you don't drop anything. Usopp used his goggles to scan the horizon and eventually spotted a cluster of large rocks. Usopp. Hey guys, I spot some rocks dead ahead. Luffy. Really? Break time. Luffy instantly sped off ahead of everyone. Rimuru. And off he goes. As the rest of the group slowly walked forward, Luffy came sprinting right back toward them in a panic. Usopp. That's weird. Why is he coming back? Luffy. Hey, Chopper. There's a whole flock of dying birds over there. Rimuru. A flock? Chopper. Leave it to me. Luffy. All right, let's go. The three ran straight toward the rocks, while Vivi suddenly realized what the birds actually were. Vivi. Birds? Hold on, Luffy. Those birds are fakes. Luffy. Huh? Everyone followed Luffy to the rocks, only to find that both the birds and all of their luggage were completely gone. Vivi. I'm so sorry. I should have mentioned it earlier. Warasaji birds are desert bandits that deceive travelers and then steal all of their belongings. Luffy. You're kidding? Usopp. You mean those birds were playing dead? Angry. What a lousy bunch of crooks. Ace. You mean those birds right over there? Ace pointed to a nearby ridge, where a flock of birds was happily drinking the crew's stolen water. Luffy, angry, give us our stuff back, you thieves. The flock scattered, and Luffy immediately gave chase. Rimuru sighed heavily and approached Vivi. Rimuru, Vivi. Vivi, why yes? Rimuru, we are not leaving this spot until you tell us everything you know first. Vivi, yes, I'm so sorry. Because of me, we lost our supplies. Rimuru, it's cool. Just tell us everything. Besides, I figured Luffy would somehow lose our stuff, so I packed a massive extra supply of water and food inside my stomach just in case. Everyone breathed a massive sigh of relief. Vivi began explaining everything she knew, when Rimuru suddenly glanced off in the direction Luffy had run. Ace, what's up? Rimuru, Luffy's back. The desert sand began to violently shake as everyone glanced at the horizon. They saw Luffy and a camel sprinting for their lives, being chased by a colossal lizard. Usopp, trembling, what's with the rumbling? Nami, why is Luffy with a camel? Zoro, looks like something massive is chasing them. Vivi, it's a Sandora dragon. Ace, he sure does have a natural talent for attracting trouble. Rimuru sure does. Rimuru drew her sword and rushed straight toward the dragon. Rimuru, one sword style. Infinity wisdom. Rimuru leaped high into the air while coating her blade with the seawater she had swallowed earlier, delivering a devastating downward vertical slash. As soon as the giant lizard collapsed and died, an identical lizard burst out of the sand right behind them. Nami, Usopp, and Chopper. KyleBayan. /Jaya. Zoro, another one? Vivi. Sandora dragons sometimes hunt in pairs. The second lizard roared loudly and lunged directly toward Ace. Nami, Ace, is what you want to play? The Sandora dragon roared and swallowed Ace whole. Suddenly, the giant beast burst into roaring flames from the inside out, leaving behind a pile of ash that blew away in the wind, leaving Ace standing there completely untouched. Later, Rimuru processed the meat, and Sanji used the scorching desert rocks like a makeshift frying pan. Sanji, this is incredibly convenient. These rocks are like a natural frying pan, and the salt from the seawater Rimuru used acts like a perfect seasoning. Rimuru, I didn't think that we'd actually be eating this. At least our food situation is no longer an issue. Zoro, eating, anyway, what's with the camel? Luffy, eating, I dunno. It was being chased by the lizard when I was chasing those birds. Nami, it's obviously not a wild camel. Vivi, you're right. Not with that saddle. Camel, voo. Chopper, he says he was just passing through when that monster started chasing him. Camel, voo. Chopper, he said, since you folks saved my skin, I can carry you to your destination. Luffy, okay, I'll take the first shift. The camel viciously bit Luffy right on the shoulder just as he was about to climb on. Camel, voo. Chopper, I'm a hard-boiled yet loving son of the desert. While I am grateful for your help, I can only allow women to ride me, is what he said. Usopp, Luffy, and Sanji immediately started beating up the camel. Rimuru, eating, thinking that Camel is just as much of a simp as Sanji. After the camel got thoroughly beaten up by the three, Nami apologetically stepped forward and caressed the camel's head. Nami, I'm so sorry that the guys in this crew are a bunch of jerks. Rimuru looked closely at the situation and noticed the camel had the exact same blushing expression as Sanji. Rimuru, thinking, yup, he's definitely a simp like Sanji. Nami, now what shall we call you? For people instantly raised their hands. Luffy, idiot. Sanji, moron. Usopp, dumbass. Rimuru, Sanji. Sanji, yes. Rimuru, I meant the camel. Usopp, wouldn't calling the camel Sanji make things incredibly confusing? Zoro pointed at Sanji with his thumb. Zoro, then let's just call him Curly Brow. Sanji and Zoro instantly began fighting in the sand. Rimuru, I was just joking. How about Eyelash? Eyelash, voo. Chopper, I'll gladly accept the name given to me by a pretty lady like you, he said. After everyone finished eating, Nami and Vivi climbed onto Eyelash. Nami, Rimuru, aren't you gonna get on? Rimuru, it's fine. I should make sure that Chopper doesn't pass out from heatstroke. Nami, right? Then let's go. The crew, along with their new desert traveling companion Eyelash, continued their long trek toward Yuba.